From huge bluffs to mind-blowing reads, here are 30 straight minutes of the most unbelievable plays of Daniel Negreanu's career. Starting with a hand against one of his friendliest rivals, Phil Hellmuth.
How about a re-raise to 3,600? Doyle pocket jacks.
Now, Doyle would typically be the one to 3-bet in this spot with 2 jacks, but since Daniel did it for him, he just calls.
And now, action back on Hellmuth. Makes the call. So 3 players to the flop.
The flop comes a complete brick for Negreanu, so all 3 players decide to check.
It checked around, a 4 of spades on the turn.
Finally feels like it's safe to maybe take a stab here.
Bet 7,000.
Well, Phil doesn't have anything. He's now leading out into a guy who 3-bet and another guy who called a 3-bet. So this bluff from Hellmuth actually carries a lot of weight. It's not just a snap call for Daniel with an open-ended straight draw.
Daniel does make the call.
Now with Daniel and Phil raising and re-raising and betting into each other, it's going to be very tough for Doyle to know he has the best hand.
Gets rid of the best hand. So it's Daniel and Hellmuth off to the river, which is a deuce of spades. Daniel hits bottom pair.
6,000.
Bet of 6,000 by Phil Hellmuth.
Just don't reach for a bunch of those great chips.
Why? You might just shove it on me.
Phil insinuating he'll make a snap call. That orange chip is 25K. A lot of power in that little stack.
Negreanu makes it 46,000.
Daniel's correctly read Phil is weak and stuck in a huge bet with only a pair of deuces.
Speech time. It's gotta come.
He might have like 6-9 offsuit. It's Daniel. Good bet.
And Phil lays it down.
Finally got there. Took a while, but I had you.
That's not gonna look good on TV. Yeah, whatever that is, it's not gonna look good.
That play's so bad. I know Daniel's playing the rush and he's going to re-raise.
Yes.
Next is a hand from a high roller tournament where the buy-in costs more than my house.
Nikita's not looking to protect himself as he has flatted Negreanu's 5K open with 2 9s, or perhaps it is in the interest of protecting himself, or his chips rather.
I can really do
Not looking to bloat it pre.
Okay, we've got some to work with here, right? You and me. Let's go. We got 6s, we got 7s, we got 8s, we got straight draws, we got flush draws, we got all kinds. So what we got to do here is put 1 blue chip in. Go ahead.
5 9. I can think of a card that would create some spiciness.
Or more. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
16.
Comes with
Okay,
16.
fine. 16,000. This guy, I knew it. I knew this frickin' flop he was going to do
Daniel
that.
calls. No, Daniel.
Oh,
under the gun
don't do it to me, man.
Kind of
Come on,
repping
I got a good
there.
card.
He can have some of the stuff like this, but
Give me what I need.
does have some big pairs here given this line. And wow. In she comes.
Now you
And
bet.
Negreanu knuckles,
You got
by the way,
straight.
turns the stone nuts, and it's going to look a lot like he's worried about the 4-liner here with his range.
Dare you.
Of course. You think he just checks back so he can call all bets on the end?
Aces, kings, and queens are now bowing
So
out.
hard.
We might be well served to check.
That card's scared.
9's full on the
Well,
end
the
for
turn
Nikita, who
brought it
knuckled
away.
The turn and
The
out.
river brings it back in, and yeah, tough one for Daniel.
Switch it up now. 60,000. That's really bad news for me. Ooh, I was going to do it to you really, for real, on the turn. All right, I need a minute for this one.
If he folds this, Ollie,
And what did he bet on the flop?
I'll be pretty blown
16,
away.
16, 32. Well, none of that matters. You either got it or you don't. Question is, what could you have that? 10 seconds?
It is under the gun 1.
Full house makes
Guarding
a
the
lot of
positions.
sense, right?
7-handed.
I'm going to use one of these because I'm going to take my time. So, full house. Which full house? Let's see. 7s or 8s? 7s or 6s? 6s or 7s. You would check back the turn for sure. 60,000 now. I think my hand might be too good to fold, but yeah, I think you just have a full house, bro.
Whoa.
Or a really solid, crazy next level bluff.
Oh, do it, Daniel. What a fold. Awesome.
Wow. Moving on to another crazy hand from the PokerStars cash game, where we see a 3-way battle between Negreanu, Scott Siver, and an amateur who was trying to win enough money to pay for his wife's dream wedding.
A big flop for the loose cannon right here, which is 9-7 king, 2 diamonds. Seaver checks his gut shot. Jensen pushes all in with ace high.
Now I'd like to know exactly what that is.
Somehow, even though completely dominated, Daniel has flopped his only live card, and it's the best hand.
60,600.
Looks like Daniel thinks there's a real shot his 9 is best.
Daniel calls. And Sheever folds.
All right.
Once or twice, it's up to you.
Once is fine. I think you got me.
Run it once, he says. Let's get it over with.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Aaron needs to catch a card or his big game journey is over.
This is for the wedding right here. Ace or queen. Ace or queen for a beautiful wedding.
Aaron's wedding will either be at the Four Seasons or the 4-H.
It'll be a good wedding. Yep. Decent amount here.
Yeah, if you raise livestock.
The turn.
Ace on the turn.
5 of diamonds.
Aaron needs a queen or an ace, or his queen will be kicking his ace.
The river card for Aaron Jensen. The 6 of diamonds.
Sorry, brother.
And just like that, Jensen's hopes of a dream wedding get completely shattered. Our next hand comes from the 2015 WSOP main event, and you won't believe what happens.
Part-time poker pro and day trader from San Jose, California with a raise to $400,000.
When Daniel finished 11th in 2001, he was chip leader with 12 players left. He got involved in a huge pot that crushed him. Ace-king against pocket sixes all in. He says he'd play it differently now and avoid the coin flip situation.
Joe McKeon, not a chip leader, but those cards could help improve his standings. Pocket aces.
Pocket aces and the signature stare.
A re-raise to $1,125,000 in the big blind. Daniel with ace-king.
The wrong time for ace-king.
Daniel with a 4-bet. Those are the chips he just won from knocking out his friend and buddy.
Uh-oh, McKeon has to multitask 2 people to stare at.
The original raiser, Matthew Guan with 6s, and he gets rid of those.
Okay, so McKeon will stare, check his chips, then maybe stare again before 5-betting all in.
Daniel has McKeon covered. But McKeon with the hand.
I'm all in.
We raise all in.
How much?
Shade under 10.
They call me Cole 4, you know, because I'm Mr. 4-bet guy. Oh, and you move in, huh?
9.81.
You know I don't usually do that, right? I mean, I just want to make sure you know I'm not like the 4-bet guy.
Daniel with ace-king again like he had in 2001 with 2 tables left, except this time, it wouldn't even be a coin flip. He'd be in awful shape.
I think most people would have already given you your money, but I'm probably not, because I think you have a very, 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 very good hand. Like the best possible hand.
Daniel's so good. I don't know how he ever loses. For real.
What would Hellmuth do? I already know. Question is, what do I do? Probably the same thing as him, I think.
This would be for 70% of Daniel's remaining stack.
Daniel gives it up.
Think Negreanu's reads can't get any better? Think again. In this next hand, he raises his abilities to a whole new level against the best female poker player in the world, Kristen Foxen.
She's slowly but surely extended her lead here, as we see 9-9-3 on the flop. Negreanu hitting a pair of 3s.
180.
180.
Daniel comes with a check raise here. Foxen makes the call. That's 7-8. You know, wrapped a little bit around the 9. It's also got backdoor clubs.
Yeah, it's the modern game of poker. If you even as much as sort of have a sliver of the flop, you're going to be excited to see the turn.
175. 175.
But for Negreanu, this is also a terrible situation. You're short. You only have a pair of 3s. You know that Foxen can do this with air as well as with strong hands. The fact that it wasn't raised before the flop perhaps
counterfeited on the river. How annoying. Although you can see the frustration all over his face. Negreanu doesn't let his emotions take over as he immediately starts thinking about every possible scenario and outcome. What happens next is shocking.
550.
All in.
Folds. Nice hand.
Thanks.
50
Raise all in.
Wow, that is insane. Negreanu check raised all in after Foxen bet 550K
Nice.
It really was.
Sick.
Negreanu must feel like he has big cojones after that bold play.
Yep.
Here's another hand of him doing it again after being dealt his favorite hand.
Re-raises on the button to 5,200. Galfond folds. Action folded back on over to Sheever, who calls. So heads up to the flop. King, deuce, queen. He reps, betting 6,200.
Looks like Scott's gonna peel.
He calls.
The turn is no help to Negreanu, but that doesn't stop him from betting again. He fires a second barrel for $14,000. Looks like his favorite hand is getting pretty expensive.
Sheever keeps it going. He calls.
Seaver's totally stationing Negreanu.
4 clubs on the river. Sheever checks. Daniel fires 36,000.
Scott really doesn't look like he believes him, but in a situation like this, if you call and you're wrong, you look like a total fish.
36.
Daniel sticking to his new strategy of being quiet. Shh.
Folds the winner.
Phew-wee. You had me staring. I had my favorite hand. You know what that is?
10-7?
No, the 10-7.
Oh, 10. I
The
said
exact
10.
suits.
I said 10-7.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry. 7 of diamonds and 10 of clubs specifically. Those are the ones. I can't believe I got away with a bluff.
And by the look on his face, Sheever can't believe it either. This next controversial hand is from the Super High Roller event at the EPT Barcelona, where a player accused Negreanu of cheating. Is this an unethical move or a brilliant strategic play? You be the judge.
Ace King for Daniel Negreanu.
Oh, apparently someone other than Steve Silverman is allowed to pick up a hand.
Negreanu raises. And raises big.
Oops. 29, buddy.
Whoops.
45 even, not 29.
45?
It's so nice.
I meant to put in 9.
I thought it's 29 first too.
That is an 11x raise from Daniel.
And an apparent misclick. Weird.
How much are you playing?
350, so about 4.
Oh man, this could get real ugly for Steve Silverman if he reads Daniel's sheepishness for weakness.
He's got King Jack suited. He's got everyone at the table covered.
Maybe he won't go too crazy though, because it's clear Daniel did want to raise in the first place. He just didn't want to raise that much. This spot is weirder than walking into a room where people have just been talking about you.
All in.
Silverman shoves.
Whoops.
And Negreanu calls.
Wow. Did you get me?
No, I have ace king, but...
He got you.
Okay.
This is the biggest pot of the tournament.
That really was a misclick.
The misclick may have been genuine, but him feeling bad about it definitely isn't.
Well, it's mainly spades on the flop. 9-6-4. So far, so good for Negreanu.
Only 3 cards capable of saving Silverman. Finally got that one in.
Hey! You have clubs, right? Oh, okay, I thought it was spades. All right. So now he needs a queen or a jack?
Correct. The river is an ace.
I got 4, 38, 5.
Negreanu doubles up. He wins a massive pot.
Misclick, you say? You suspect, Negreanu. You suspect.
We now head to the 2006 National Heads Up Poker Championship to show you this intense hand between Daniel Negreanu and Greg Fossilman Raymer.
And suited 10-5 for Raymer.
And he's going to continue his aggressive play. He raises to 3,600.
Negreanu also with hearts, Jack 7. And he calls.
6.
Flop is King, Jack, Deuce. A pair of jacks for Negreanu.
And no hearts for either player. Check, check on the flop.
Turns an 8 of hearts.
Daniel still got way the best hand. In fact, Greg Raymer cannot win.
Negreanu checks and Raymer bets 5,000.
Daniel quickly calls. Greg's been bluffing a lot.
Deuce of clubs on the river. Daniel checks. And Greg Raymer moves all in.
Immediately. This is the biggest bluff he's made in this match, in this tournament so far. It's a major bluff.
Oh, this could be a real big mistake.
Greg didn't like to hear that. Daniel's indicated he's going to call.
I got to go with my gut. Got to go with my gut. This could be really stupid.
I call.
Wow. You call, you win, buddy.
How do you call that?
Great call.
And in this next hand from the 2006 World Series of Poker main event, action is on this cowboy in middle position who decides to open raise with 7 deuce suited.
The hell is he doing? Daniel Negreanu with pocket nines. Daniel's going to raise it up to 2,200. Nobody gets a cheap card around here. 4 to the flop. It is deuce, 4, 6. Antil got just what he was looking for, a set of 4. Stuck checks, he's drawing dead. Over to Adam Jones.
Reaching for chips.
Picked up a pair of deuces. He puts in 2,800 chips. Daniel's going to raise it.
10,300.
10,300 more.
Antil calls Negreanu's flop raise, and the other 2 players fold. The turn brings the 8 of spades, and both players check to the river where Negreanu reads his opponent's soul.
Another 8 on the river. Antil earns the check mark. Daniel checks again.
I got 15,000.
Make it 15,000 with pocket 6s or pocket 4s. Which one is it?
Wow.
He's the best.
Pocket 6s or pocket 4s, quick. Huh?
Take your pick.
Pocket 6s, pocket 4s. Which one?
He'll break him.
But why would you check the turn? If you bet the turn, I was just going to fold. I'm going to fold the second best hand.
He's right.
Daniel is the only player at the table, Lon, who has access to the other player's hole cards.
Putting opponents on an exact hand can be difficult, but Negreanu makes it look easy sometimes.
Take it. Take whatever you want. I just don't fold. It's so boring to fold. So I decided, no more fold.
What you have, Daniel, is top pair.
Check to that guy. He's going to raise. What are you looking at me for? I'm not going to bet. Come on. This flop, that texture. Psh. How many spades are there? 3? I'm going to take a stab. Nope. I'm going to bet. I'm going to take a stab. That's not. Yeah. See what that does. 82. Lots of fun stuff happening on that board. Give you one of these. Cool. My dad used to do this to me when I was younger. He gave me the nose when he'd stare at him. You're the guy who checked queens before in the 10 high flop, so now I'm scared.
Daniel should absolutely be betting this board.
He does, 9,600.
96? What do you have, like jacks or queens or something like that? Is that what you have with a spade? Is that what you have? Jacks or queens with a spade? Oh, I got it! He smiled, that's what he's got.
I'm smiling because you are talking.
Oh, I love to talk. I don't shut up. You haven't been paying attention the last 4 hours?
Story checks out.
When have you seen me shut up? I just keep blah, 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 blah. Diarrhea of the mouth. Can't help myself.
What do you have?
What do I have? I would tell you, except you're not allowed. It's an EPT rule. I would tell you exactly what I have, but I can't.
Cool. Because you're Negreanu.
I have a king.
I'm starting to think Negreanu's legendary hand-reading abilities might actually be attributed to secret mind-reading abilities, especially after watching this next clip.
$12,500.
12,500 total now.
All in.
All in.
Berkey makes MJ's fold easy.
So what is it? How much more?
Just 52 on the dot.
52, and I've already put in 12.5. Doesn't have queens, I don't think.
What were you thinking about doing?
Kings, doesn't have aces, has ace king, like, for sure. In one of those spots where it's just like, for sure he's got those 2 cards. Sure. And if he doesn't, I'll just look stupid. But here, if you got ace king, you got ace king.
Twice?
Sure. You have ace king? It's so weird how, like, you can just know for sure, right?
Yeah, Daniel, that is weird. Is he hiding something, or is this just a wild conspiracy?
I mean, they think we're so dumb that it's really hidden in plain view.
To add support to my crazy theory, here's another incredible read.
Flop 10-8 jack, bottom pair and a straight flush draw for John Hennigan. Negreanu with an up and down straight draw. Daniel checks, and they'll both see a free turn card. Turn is a 9. Negreanu with a king high straight. Hennigan with 2 pair 9s and 8s, and he checks it. A bet of 1,000 from Negreanu. Johnny World Hennigan not going anywhere with 2 pair and a straight flush draw. He makes the call. River card is another 9. Hennigan, you see, has the best hand with 100%. He's got a full boat. And he checks it. He's hoping Daniel will bet, and Daniel will oblige. 3,500. And a check raise to 10,500.
That's a big raise from Hennigan.
What does Daniel do now?
All right, I'll take a wild guess. Jack 9 of diamonds.
Oh, that's close enough, and what a laydown.
If you thought that read was crazy, wait until you see this next one.
But he makes the call. Both blinds will fold, so 3 players will see a flop. No 6 for Bonyardi, but a 9 high flop could get Daniel in trouble here. Shlomi continues. He's made it 15-25. It's a pot-sized bet. He does make the call.
A big pot is brewing. Shlomi can't be too concerned about this turn card.
21-25.
This time he decides to make it a little bit cheaper for Negreanu. Daniel is trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And he makes the call. Again, this river really doesn't change much. The only hand this helps is 6-7 or 8-9, and Shlomi only fires out a third pot on this river.
Well, let's see if Daniel can get away from this.
Daniel is determined Angel Small River Bet is a value hand that Kid Poker can't beat. Although it's hard for him to rep a hand, he's bumping it up.
Aces or kings? Can I say that, or is that illegal? Heads up. I can say what he has, but not what I have. Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking aces or kings.
You think right.
Daniel really pulled the trigger correctly on that one.
And Shlomi's now thinking, if you've read me for aces or kings, surely you can beat aces or kings. I have to fold.
If I show one, do I have to show all? No. Okay. I can show one? I can show one if I want to? I don't feel like it.
Next, Negreanu shows us that his ability to call out an opponent's exact hand works in both live and online poker.
All right, so this guy we know from the last battle, kind of aggressive with his sizing. We're not going to fold an ace. We didn't limp ace-3 to fold. And now we just go into protection mode and just check. We just hope we're not cooler, right? Because like against this player, you know, based on the last hand we played against them, you know, it's going to be very unlikely that we fold at any point when we flop top pair. So he bets big once again. All right, gonna take one off. There's the 4 of clubs. Be really surprised if he bets this card. He should be checking, I'd say, right here, like in this spot, 75-80% of the time. What the f is going on? We're just too high up in our range to fold. Can't fold just yet. All right, and he could have a hand like King Jack, King 10 with a club. So a hand is just far too good to fold. We're gonna make a big payoff here. Yes, motherfucker. Yes! Oh, yeah! Eat some of that, buddy. Eat some of that. Woo!
Daniel served up his opponent on that last hand, so now we're serving you the next clip.
And Shiggy with a couple of queens.
I have a feeling he had me beat.
See what he does.
He became very quiet all of a sudden.
I raise.
19,000 from Shiggy.
Sean raises 15 more, makes it 19 total. Daniel's just going to call.
Damn, you did that like it was nothing.
Last year he would have bet his house with ace king.
Only 19,000.
I want my 1,200 back.
He's out.
Looking for action.
Look around the table.
You have a good hand?
You don't need to really create much action.
You have like a really good hand, or are you?
I knew you had a good hand. When I looked up, you just like all.
Of course, I got a good hand.
I
What,
swear
you think
to God.
I just called 19,000 nothing? I got a good hand.
You were all.
I'm not gonna tell you what I got.
That's what raised.
I'm not gonna tell you what I got. But I'm telling you what I'm doing. I'm gonna check in the dark. Pow!
3 queens for Sean Shiggy.
Check.
They won't let us play props this year.
Both players check.
That's good.
For you.
Check from Daniel.
25.
You got 3 queens over there?
25,000.
Daniel immediately said you have 3 queens.
Smell like 3 queens.
Moving on to an episode of the Poker Stars Cash Game, Negreanu gets involved in a memorable hand against longtime pro Andrew Roble. Let's see what happened in this hand that caused Tony G to quit the game.
Roble bets 4,000 with top pair.
He's making Daniel pay to draw.
Daniel will. The turn, the 10 of diamonds. Roble picks up a straight draw. Action on Negreanu.
Looks like we're going to see a semi-bluff.
Bets 8,500.
This is a donk bet bluff. He knows Roble is tight, and Andrew knows Daniel is loose, so top pair, decent kicker, and a gut shot might all just be too much to get away from for Andrew.
Roble calls.
Daniel can't like that call unless he sees a spade.
Which he doesn't. 10 of hearts on the river. Action on Negreanu. That's 18-5.
Facing a large river bet, Roble goes into the tank again, which caused Tony to erupt.
I'm going to walk out. If these guys are going to come here, waste my time, I'm going to walk out of the game. It's a joke. F***ing hell, he's thinking 20 minutes every f***ing hand he's playing. F***ing nit. You play online, it's like quick. 2 seconds, bang, bang, they're pressing buttons. They come here, they freeze up.
Daniel's done a good job of making this look like a value bet, so Andrew has a legit decision to make. He seems to be doing a good job of tuning Tony out.
He folds.
What? After all that, he finally threw it away. I mean, I had a 6, but...
Daniel shows the bluff.
Next up is another cash game hand where Negreanu faces off against poker's all-time money leader, Brian Kenney.
Folds. Did you really do that? You are sick, kid. Wow.
Queen 3 for Daniel. Raises to 4,000.
I like this.
Daniel's in position trying to isolate Rick, who plays huge but is still an amateur.
Lock folds. Ace Queen for Kenney. Makes the call.
Solomon's getting ridiculous pot odds.
And calls 2,000 with King 8. So we'll have three-way action to the flop.
Look at Bryn Kenney. He doesn't care. He's a baller.
5-4-5 rainbow. Kenney checks. Solomon checks. Daniel going for some chips. And bets 6,000.
Kenney's got the best hand with ace-queen high.
And he's in there. Solomon folds. 8 of spades on the turn.
Rick would have paired his 8.
And Kenney checks.
I'm always blabbing on and on about the power of position. Maybe Daniel will use it.
And he does, bets 2/3 of the pot.
This is actually a pretty big bet from Daniel. Bryn looks suspicious, and we know he'd be right.
He's going to make the call.
Don't look now, but our first pot of the night is getting pretty big.
Deuce of hearts, big brick. And Kenney checks.
We don't see a 3-barrel bluff from Daniel too often. Bryn's been pretty stubborn.
But Daniel does 3-barrel, 85,000.
That deuce didn't really bring in a lot of draws. If Kenney thought he was good on the turn, he might be able to make this call still. But that's a pretty sick bet.
Kenney folds.
That's one of those, right, Phil?
Let's see it then.
You want to see it? You don't want to see it. It'll tilt you, for sure.
Let's see. I want to see it then.
You guys really want to see? Make the game better? All right, show one for the boys. Come on.
If you thought that read was crazy, wait until you see this next one.
Adelstein raised to 3,000 with the ace-7 of clubs, and Daniel 3-bets to 10,000 with his 10s. Garrett's going to 4-bet to 40 grand.
I did not see that.
Been a quiet night for Daniel so far.
Call.
Daniel's not going to get pushed around.
Pair of 5s on the flop.
He checks, and now Daniel's thinking, well, maybe he does have an overpair, and he's trying to trap me, so I'll check too.
Another 5 on the turn.
If Garrett had aces, he might check and try and induce Daniel to bet. But if he had jacks or queens, he would be betting.
He checks.
Daniel checks. He's going to proceed cautiously. I don't believe Garrett thinks he can win with an ace. Maybe Daniel's got something like king, queen suited.
All in.
He's putting Daniel all in. He's put about 200,000 out there. Daniel, you see, has 179,000. Garrett's made these kind of big bets, and he's had it every time he's made it, so I guess he's hoping Daniel's noticed that, and Daniel is putting him on aces. Making it look like he really has the big pair.
You win.
But he's not fooling Daniel.